A Cat in Paris is a French animated film about a cat who leads a double life as both the partner of a cat burglar as well as the pet of a little girl. Like, the first thing that kind of pops out at me when it comes to discussing this film is its art style. Like, it's a, well, noticeably French one, certainly, but it is pleasant to look at, mostly. It honestly kind of looks like a children's storybook, and I actually quite like the lighting as well. Generally, this movie looks pretty good. Like, I do have some complaints, but I'll talk about them later when I talk about my issues with this film. So, as for the plot, the movie pretty much stars a little girl named Zoe with selective mutism that arose after the death of her father. Said father being a police officer killed by a gangster. Said gangster being the main villain of the movie. Zoe's mother is also a police officer working to take down the gangster that killed her husband, the gangster's name being Victor Costa. Zoe, after sneaking out of her house to follow her cat Dino, who is on his way to meet up with the cat burglar Nico, she spots Victor Costa and associates having a meeting, and, well, getting caught snooping, which leads to the main crux of the movie. Namely, the people in Zoe's life trying to protect her from Victor Costa, who, wants to shut her up, if you will. Like, it's not exactly a revolutionary plot, but it's a pleasant one, especially with the general art style. It creates a pretty pleasant movie. Like, it's not some super deep artistic movie, but, it doesn't have to be. It just needs to be pleasant. And also, let me tell you, Dino is a fucking adorable cat. There's this stereotype of cats as, unloving, or as, indifferent to the sufferings of humans, if you will, and frankly, it's fucking bullshit. Like, a lot of the stereotypes about cats being bad pets honestly just come from dog lovers who expect cats to act like dogs, which, they don't, not in the slightest. Cats are way more chill. Cats can be some of the most affectionate pets around, not only just, meowing to be pet, but just, staying in a person's vicinity because they like being around them and whatnot. And Dino is not only, generally affectionate towards Zoe, but is also, protective of her, even scratching a woman at one point who wants to kidnap her because she works with Victor Costa and whatnot. And this affectionate and protective combination creates a cat that is goddamn adorable, and more accurate truth than that, I don't care about your suffering stereotype that is associated with cats. Seriously, cats are awesome, America. Wake the fuck up. Overall, I describe this movie as pleasant. It's a fun adventure and an endearing art style. And that's its main appeal, really. It's nice. Now, I suppose I should get to the parts of the movie that I didn't like. Well, there are two main complaints I have. First is, while I generally like the art style, there were a handful of character designs I didn't like. Generally, the character designs are a mixed bag. I mean, there are some I like perfectly fine and whatnot, and there's others that honestly just kind of look either uncanny or just off to me. Just looks a bit weird. Although even the designs I don't like, I can imagine them being someone else's cup of tea. I do think there is a place for, exaggerated or even uncanny designs, but, well, the type in, A Cat in Paris aren't always my thing, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Now, I guess my biggest complaint regards, the ending. And, well, Nico is a cat burglar, and so Nico is a cat burglar, and with that, the death of her husband and the desire to protect Zoe forming the basis of her motivations. In the middle of the movie, Nico is mistaken for kidnapping Zoe after protecting her from Victor Costa and his underlings. With that, in addition to his cat burglary, Nico is arrested by Jean. Also, Jean arrested the cat as well for some reason. Nico escapes from the cop car by using Dino as a distraction to steal Jean's gun. Jean eventually realizes the truth that Nico was not attempting to kidnap Zoe, but was instead trying to protect her, and goes to help rescue her from Victor Costa. The movie ends with Jean and Nico getting together, and why did they do that? I'm sure she's grateful to him for rescuing her daughter, but why'd they get married? Why'd they doing Christmas together? Why? I mean, he is a criminal, like, literally, like, stealing from people. That's part of the reason why he was arrested in the first place, and the movie just kind of brushes that away. I mean, the romance in general is kind of forced, given that, their only interaction previous to this was Nico being arrested, but, like, even with the gratefulness of, child rescuing, why'd they get together? How are they compatible? It just kind of comes out of nowhere. Also, when they get together is about when Zoe regains her voice, which I suppose is thematically appropriate given that it came of the loss of her father, but, like, I don't know, it feels a bit weird to have her, like, regain her voice with the regaining of a proper father figure. But overall, I like the movie, but that is just one moment that will always just, like, why did you do that? Why are they together? So, overall, Cat in Paris is a pretty good movie. Like, if you're looking for something different than what you might typically see in, like, the American animation sphere, I guess you could say, then check it out. It has an interesting art style and a pleasant story, so yeah, I recommend checking it out if it sounds in any way interesting to you. So that was Swarthycast. If you like the show and want to support me and the stuff I do, consider supporting me on Patreon at swarthygarfield.com/ Fuck. No, that's not it. No, that's not my Patreon. Let's try that again. If you like the show and would like to support me and my future endeavors, consider supporting me at Patreon at patreon.com/swarthygarfield. Why did I say Patreon twice? Okay, third time. Beep. If you like this episode and would like to support me and my future endeavors, consider supporting me at patreon.com/swarthygarfield. You can get an exclusive RSS feed of Swarthycast and see this podcast in whatever podcast app you like. You can also see episodes early and request topics for me to cover, in addition to other perks. Seriously, why the fuck did they get together?